Great. Coming to the subject of renewable energy certificates, uh, how do you see the scenario for renewable energy certificates develop in India, and can captive power producers actually make use of these certificates in a big way?
Y- Yes. See, first of all, in case of renewable energy certificates, you have to understand the intent or objective of developing this mechanism. In some parts of the world, renewable energy certificate mechanism is used as an incentive mechanism. Okay? In India, we are not using it as an incentive mechanism. That's not the proposal what we have developed for the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The main objective for the renewable energy is to enable interstate sale of electricity. If we look at today's composition of the renewable energy in the country, around 14.5 or 15,000 megawatt of renewable energy, around 11,000 megawatt consist of wind. Okay, this renewable energy generation typically is difficult to schedule. Okay,
It's infirm in a way.
it's infirm in a way. Okay, so you can't sell the power, say renewable energy generation or wind generation in Tamil Nadu to Delhi.
Right.
At the same time, beyond a certain limit, state of Tamil Nadu cannot absorb wind generation.
Right.
While the cost of traded power has been going up, as you know, generally the cost of electricity total, that is the cost of generation, is seeing the economy's benefit. Okay, so the overall cost of generation is low as compared to the overall cost of renewable energy generation. So as a result, say Tamil Nadu, even if they want to procure a lot of renewable energy, it would be difficult because it will increase the cost of supply to the consumers. At the same time, say take a case of state like Delhi, which is landlocked and which doesn't have any opportunity to generate renewable energy. Okay, from where they will get renewable energy? So similarly, at the same time, what happens is that even if you schedule a transaction, say from Himachal to Delhi of hydropower, which is supposed to be renewable energy, typically this transaction, as soon as it crosses the state boundary, loses its renewable tag.
Okay.
It is treated at par with the conventional generation because of the lot of power market related issues. Okay, so what was required was a mechanism which will enable states like Delhi, okay, Haryana, to purchase renewable energy,
Right.
while states like Tamil Nadu not to stop development of renewable energy, or Karnataka.
Right.
If you see the renewable energy obligation, which is part of Section 86 1A of the Electricity Act, the obligations are varying from state to state. Tamil Nadu has already achieved 10%. Karnataka has by and large achieved 10%. State of Himachal Pradesh, which has got huge small hydro potential, has got a target of 20%. But if you take a case of Maharashtra, which has got a target of 5% this year, will be able to barely manage 3.5% to 4%. The targets are even much lower in the case of states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, where there is no renewable energy generation. At the same time, National Action Plan for Climate Change, which our Honorable Prime Minister has announced last year on 30th June 2008, has got an ambitious target of 5% for 2009-2010 for the country as a whole. While it's good to have the target for the country as a whole, the same target can't be applied to every state. So the targets will have to vary from state to state depending on its ability to generate the renewable energy. We need a mechanism which will enable to have a common target over a period of time. So the renewable energy certificate mechanism has been developed primarily from that perspective. So what would renewable energy certificate enable is allow states like Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh to purchase renewable energy from the other states which are RED states. How it will help the captive power generators? If you look at section 86(1)(e), the obligation to purchase renewable energy is on the basis of the consumption in the area of the distribution licensing. It is not on the distribution licensing.
Okay,
At
what
many
does
a
it mean?
times what happens is the section 86(1)(e) is implemented in such a way
Right.
that as if the section 86(1)(e) obligation is only on the distribution licensing.
Right.
It is incorrect. Okay, I think it's very, very important to realize this fact. Section 86(1)(e) has got three components. One is provide connectivity to the grid for the renewable energy. Second one is promote sale of renewable energy to any person. And the third part of it is set a target based on the consumption in the area of the distribution license.
Okay.
A reference to distribution licensing in that particular section, that is section 86(1)(e), has led many to believe that the target is applicable only to the distribution license.
Okay.
Okay, but this target is applicable since it is on the basis of the consumption. It is applicable to the entire consumption in the area of the distribution license.
Right.
So, if there is a consumer who has got a captive power plant of 500 megawatt and he is consuming power from that,
Right.
so the target is also applicable to him.
Okay.
Okay. This similarly, suppose there is a consumer who is purchasing 500 megawatt of power using open access. Okay, the target is also applicable to him.
The renewable energy target, no?
Yes.
Oh.
So section 86(1)(e) target.
Okay.
This issue has been discussed by Forum of Regulators in their working group, and the Forum of Regulators has come to the conclusion that the target is applicable to open access and captive generators.